trick for anyone who wants to be a producer out there is you want to start with something big and you flow to it. You connect the dots in between things. So Matt just put on his TV producer hat. And we get our question from Graham. What went through your head before pulling off an avalanche leg drop onto edge from the top of a steel cage? And do you think that's your most extreme moment?
It is definitely one of my most extreme moments. I mean, there's a few things that I've done that have been pretty crazy. I mean, the first couple things that pop in my mind are that leg drop off the top of the cage, especially because a leg drop in its own, just doing a regular leg drop is a painful move. So doing it off a super elevated platform in the top of a steel cage is obviously extreme. I think about when myself and Bubba Ray Dudley went through the 4 tables. Yeah, because that was one of those things. If one of us went early, then the other guy was done. You know, it could have been terrible. And then also when I went over backwards off the top of a 12-foot ladder, over the top rope, to the floor, through tables in TLC 1. I mean, those are the first couple of things that pop in my mind. But I mean, I've done a ton of dumb shit throughout my career, you know, and fortunately I'm still here and still half-ass healthy, so to say. But doing that leg drop was an extreme thing. And I couldn't remember in WWE someone that had done a leg drop off the top of the cage. So I knew I'd be kind of like breaking new ground, you know, with that. And then it was a great way to close out this feud. It was such a big deal to finally get my win. Didn't necessarily close out the feud, but I got my win, my clean pinfall win over my enemy at that time, and overcame all the odds. So just doing that in front of that crowd, and the crowd was so hype. And I remember doing it and like not being afraid, not you know, fearless. I literally felt fearless when I did it. And I remember coming back through the curtain and having IRS and the $1 Million Man asked me, said, "Oh my God, I can't believe that. How do you feel?" I said, "I feel great now, but adrenaline's pumping. Ask me tomorrow." Ask me tomorrow after I get up a couple hours into my day, and then I'll be able to give you an honest assessment. And that really was that. My lower back and hips were already pretty messed up from doing leg drops at that point for, you know, Jesus, almost, you know, 13 years. Legitimately, I've been doing leg drops off the top and second, whatever, and working that heavy WWE schedule. Whenever myself and my brother first started with WWE, when we were doing 10 days on and 4 days off, every night we were doing that leg drop splash off the top into that hard ass ring. So that was a lot of wear and tear, obviously. And that was the moment where I said, "Oh, I've got to alter this a little bit. I can't do this leg drop all the time. I can do it time to time, but I can't do it every night like I used to when I was younger." And that's when I ended up changing it to ho and do an elbow where I would jump off the second rope to the back of the guy's neck. And it's the most, it's so funny when I tell guys this, if we're ever working in a match, whatever, said, "Okay, then I'll hit you with the most exciting yet boring move in the history of pro wrestling, you know, in the history of pro wrestling," because that's what it is. We still do the whole mannerism, oh, get the crowd hype, and then we'll jump off and I elbow them to the back of the neck and protect my body.